I picked this one up for about $143. It's going up for more, and graphics card prices change all the time. These are two 8 gig sticks, so a total of 16 gigabytes. This is DDR3 1866. But if you go with like an i3 build, like a newer one, you're going to be doing DDR4. So just don't mix that up, obviously. And this cooler right here is just a Cooler Master. It goes actually with the same brand as the case over here. It's RGB. Got little got little buttons on here to control the colors and stuff, so no software required. And this is a 240 gigabyte SSD right here, and a 750 gigabyte hard drive. So, yes, sir. And these fans right here, I think they're not up here. I do. Oh, these ones are up here. Ones without, and then this is like King or something King. I don't know. They're budget fans. So we got a mix, but they look pretty much the same. They're just going to be green, I do believe, or I don't know if I have these ones as. So I have them as a controller right here. There's an RGB controller, but the RGB actually remote for it is not working, or I can't get it to light up. At least these two right here. So these are going to be solid green, and I actually have some other green ones. So I probably just kick these out of here and just do all green. So these just kind of black, sleek, and just green. So LEDs lightly lighting it up, and I'll have this color be green as well, and that would be green. So this is going to be a green themed PC. And just get rid of these and get some other ones like I said. This is a Corsair VS 500 watt power supply, and it's going to go perfectly fine for this setup of hardware. And yeah, the case is it's not the best. I would not go for this. It looks decent, and it's pretty cheap, but it's just not that good on airflow. So my blower style fan, and I'm keeping everything stock, my blower style fan, that's actually going to be more ideal for this type of case anyways, just because how warm it gets. Because my brother had this before. He had a 1063 gig, and you could feel the heat. This was warm. I'm like, damn. So yeah, this will help it definitely. They'll kick off some heat, and they'll just blow it out. So let's build it. And I almost forgot the CPU. It's a i5-4440. It's a 4-core, 4-thread. So nothing too special right here, but you can get them up for like $25, $35, nothing more, and don't go more than that. It's not worth it. So guys, while I'm taking my test bench apart for my PC build right here, I'm just showing you the contact that it made. Thermal paste with the CPU. There's a little bit more thermal paste than I needed. It's kind of a lot, but look at that square. Like that's pretty damn good. See, it didn't go over the CPU on the edge right here. So it's a little too much thermal paste, I would say, but that made complete contact. So it's pretty damn good. Maybe just a little bit less, but the even spread around the whole thing. That's why I take a little bit extra time instead of doing a big pea or a long piece of thicker rice or something. You know what I mean? I just spread it, and then I'm 100% sure it's going to cover the whole thing and no hot spots, you know what I mean? So there's just kind of like little proof of it for you. So these are the components that I will be using for this build. I have the CPU still in the socket right here. I'm about to take it apart and do the video, but so I have the Gigabyte G1 Sniper Z87. This is more for like, when this came out, this is more like an overclocking board. You got your power button here, you got your CMOS reset, you got your reset switch, and this just has like more features than you typically need just to have like run basic, keep everything. If you keep everything stock versus something with a little bit less chipset and a little bit less features, you know what I mean, you'll get about the same performance. But like this has another PCI lane right here, and you got 4 DIMMs right here, so this just has like better features. So you can skimp out a little bit on this if you're going for like an Intel 4th gen. But I really wouldn't. I'd go with an i3 10th gen or 9th gen. And that would be LJ 1151 or LJ 1200, I do believe. So as you see, I don't want to touch it, but I just want to point to it with this screwdriver here. See, right there it's missing a pin. Completely missing a pin. And that one's bent or just dried somehow. I haven't tried fixing it. I just popped it when I had my i7-4770K. I popped it in a couple blue screens, but it worked, and it was working for months. So it's like it's probably maybe not the most ideal. You definitely want all your pins, but if it works, and it works. But like, just make sure you get if you're going used, make sure you get a board that has all the pins and it looks perfect and it was working prior and it's good to go, you know. See, see the little triangle right there on the bottom of the CPU, and you want to put it wherever you see the. This particular motherboard doesn't have a triangle like right there, but you want to match the triangle with the triangle. On this LGA 1150, the triangle will be on the bottom left right there. So just pop her in gently. Just give it a little wiggle too, just a lightly, you know, and it's completely flushed. I want the retention arm. I want to make sure, see this right here? Make sure it goes in the screw right here. So this has to go back. And then you pull the retention arm down, and then there you go. That's how you install it. Very simple. I think this is the best idea, is to have the motherboard on the actual motherboard box that it comes in, because it just, you're applying a force and stuff, and it's cardboard, and it's just like the best, I think. So it's not like hard surface or anything like that. So let's do thermal paste. So I have some thermal grizzly right here, but there's not a lot. I don't know if I have enough. I'd be mixing. It's not really bad, but I have this right here. This looks like a lot more. I don't know. It's like a no name brand. Maybe it came with a cooler or something like that. I'm not sure. So hopefully this is enough. Oh my life. I'm gonna mix. Won't be the end of the world, right? Probably very similar, anyways. All right. See, maybe that'd be enough for somebody, but I like to make sure it goes on the whole CPU and this thermal grizzly is going to be emptied as well. Nothing. That's a little bit lighter. Interesting. All right, well, I'll have to eat different kinds, so that'd be cool, right? We'll mix it up. Shite. Freaking heck. All right, so I have the no-name brand, the Thermal Grizzly, and then some Corsair Thermopaces TM30. Last time I tried this, it wasn't as liquidy, so it's harder to like spread. I think that will be all right, and a little bit will get wasted when you do spread it. It'll be on spots like that on the actual heat spreader. Try not to. It's very hard. I don't have a cameraman. It's hard to just do it without getting in the way. I think this is the best one though. Yeah, some of it's easier to smear and spread. Some of it is a little bit less liquidy and a little stiffer. But this will be perfectly fine. Maybe you guys don't have to be so perfect with it, but I mean, it's going to be underneath your cooler. You don't have to worry about it for several months or even years, depending on when you upgrade next. So just think about that. How much time you spend on the job. You're going to sleep better at night. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I did a really good job spraying that thermal paste, and my temps are going to be good, and not going to be any hot spots on any of your CPU. So that is pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good. I mean, it's not like 100%, but it's like 99, at least 99, right? What do you guys think? All right, so now that she's good, and you got your, it's kind of hard to do. This little back plate that goes on the back of the motherboard that lines in and comes up through the hole, see right there? It's kind of hard to actually, like if I lift up the motherboard right now, it would fall off. So you kind of get like one side in, and then you get the whole thing, and then you kind of just halfway put it down, and then just kind of slide it on the board. That's what I did. So. Yes, sir. So I was using this. Let me just zoom out a little bit right here. Cool, great. Okay, I was using this little Cooler Master. I mean, it's a beefy, you know. That's like maybe not the beefiest in the world, obviously, but like that's the pretty thick, high density, you know, basic cooler, and a good, nice mounting pressure and everything. Spaghetti mess, you know. Yuck, I don't like that, but I'm not using that one. I'm using my other one, which is an RGB one. It's a little dusty. I don't want to have dust on it. Okay, but yeah, if you guys want to, just skip ahead, tap it, or you know, use your arrow keys or mouse, whatever you want to do. There's a lot of input choices. Your fingies, you can do it. All right, but yeah, if you guys want to just chill and watch it, whole thing, whatever you want to do. So okay, so this has a couple different parts. One actually gets plugged into your CPU header right there, and the other one gets plugged into via Molex right here, which are the best connections. Not really, just kidding. But I'll just connect that in last, just because it's some extra stuff to get in the way. So I'll just have to remember that. Otherwise, the RGB will not work. So there's no. This is Intel. This isn't AMD, so it doesn't have like a little bracket you clip on and then you push down, or you line up and then you have an arm to crank it. So you just have to figure out what's best for the cable management, which is probably right there, so it doesn't have to travel as far, you know what I mean? So you just line her up. Just keep on repeating the process on all four sides, and just keep on screwing it in until it's a lot of pressure, you know what I mean? Just like, oh, that's too much, just stop, and I'm sure she'll be right as rain. Like, that's good, yeah. Got a couple more turns on that one. It'll bottom out. That's fine. Screw with confidence, am I right? That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Just make sure she's good. So we got 4 pins right here, and you got a line. You got looks like it's only it's lining up 3 pins right here, and then one. See this little thing right here? So you just line that up. It's really just to align it up and actually give it a good snug on the header right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that right there. Let me see. Yeah, that looks fine. So I'm recording on my phone. I have no display on the front. I mean on the back. Hope it has a display on the front. So you just kind of line her up. So then it kind of puts pressure on it and snugs it in place. It's a 4-pin header right there for the fan, and then that will be plugged into Molex after a little adapter. So that is good right there. And then your next step will be, I can get this out of the way. How's that looking? That looks fine. Okay, so your next step is your memory. Either if you have 2 DIMMs slots right here, you're going to be occupying both of them, obviously. But if you have 4, you want to do 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you line the pins via notch with a notch. I mean, you got these clips too. It's going to be like that. So push the clips back, the ones that you need, and line her up. And then push firmly. You'll hear a click. Do the same thing, repeating process, and clip. You want to do both at the same time. It'll work either way, but just it's best to do it at the same time. And then, yeah, these clips will go down. These ones that you popped, like I accidentally did. This is good so far, and you pretty much want to move on. Depends on your storage, though. I have an old-fashioned SATA 2.5 inch and an even older 3.5 inch form factor for hard drives. But if you have M.2s, then you will have a little screw that comes with the motherboard. They're probably not pre-installed, so you want to slip it in like on an angle, and then push it down, then the little screw for the M.2 for the OS. And if you have any armor plates or anything like that, you want to remove those, which I have never done. But I've seen videos of it and stuff. It's very basic, very simple. So that was good for right now. So we just want to move this. So next, you will want to, well, there's a couple different things. So you could, sorry, my lighting is terrible in here, so I'm trying to figure out the best place to put on my lighting now with stuff. I have like a little white lamp shite. Let's see, it's actually, whatever, it's not ideal, and I'll work on it. So there's a couple different ways to do this. So you could install it in your case right away, since you got your cooler on, excuse me, your memory, and your CPU installed. Stupid thing. Got little rubber tips on it. Okay. This is acrylic, it's not tempered glass, so it would be nice. So this case right here, it's a little tiny bit dirty. So if you get a used case, really pinch in, Craigslist or something like that. Make sure it's clean, so you can have a nice, almost like new experience. You know what I mean? Coming fresh. I'm gonna dust her off a little bit, just a little bit. All right. So you have all your cables with your headers, like USB 2, USB 3, USB 3 right here, and I have a USB 3 header motherboard as well, so that will be awesome. If you have an older one, you may not have it, but most of them do. Alright, so this one right here is all my life. This was my brother's, and he had an older motherboard that had a proprietary power button. So this right here is taken out. So his power button. Oh my life. So I'm gonna have to see about that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, so I was confused. We're not really confused, slightly only. So this right here was going to be with that motherboard, but he had to use a proprietary one, so I don't know why we left it in there. So this goes, I guess. Oh, let me just use a tiny bit. I'm gonna use a little bit, a tiny bit of a Windex over here, just lightly on a paper towel, just so I can grab the dust easier than a blank one. So yeah, so there are a couple things you could do. You could do, of course, your I/O shield, and then to install, make sure the standoffs on the motherboard go in with the holes for the standoffs on your motherboard, so you're not shorting anything. If you have a standoff in the middle of your motherboard where there's no hole, it's not going to be good. You're going to probably damage it and kill it. So just make sure everything is golden. It's not a big deal to just check thoroughly, you know what I mean? But it's a big deal if you fuck it up. So she's pretty good. She's not terribly dusty. If I had more light in here, I might see more dust, but she's not too bad. So she's fine. So you can either build standing up or laying down. I like to lay my case down. So now that it's in a laying down position, pop the I/O shield off my test bench. These are always going to be at the bottom, so you don't have to check your motherboard like you're going to have USBs on the top. It's just like these are always at the bottom. I have never seen a PC with those at the top for the audio outputs and stuff, like speakers or headset, something, your mic and everything. Okay, so after you clip that in, the bottom didn't really want to do. So this IO Shield is an aftermarket one, but it's the same layout, so you can't really mess it up. You know what I mean? As long as you printed it or made it a certain way, should be able to just line her up perfectly fine. I think it's already in. It looked like it wasn't in all the way, so I don't want. Yeah, let me see. It's not in all the way. So I'll line up the bottom. You know, I didn't have a problem with this on my other case. Maybe I'm just retarded. Could be it. There we go. So I did the bottom first, and then I kind of did the top like almost as soon as that. Yeah, so this case is not strong, so it kind of bends easy when I was putting too much pressure. That's why. So now that you have that in there, sorry if this is a longer video, guys, but I'm just gonna also explain it, you know. So here's your standoffs right here. You also want to make sure they're screwed in all the way, because if they're lightly loose and you're going to be like on an angle maybe with your screw and you screw halfway and you're going to be struggling so hard, you're going to be so upset. So you know what? This might be too big. I'm going to cry. Is this too big? Oh, I'm going to cry. Hey, that's too big. This motherboard is actually too big for this case. So it's a no-go with this case, guys. So you kind of have to look at what case, what fits, what motherboard you're getting and everything. That just will not fit. So I do have another case. Just not as nice looking. So that case doesn't fit my motherboard because it's extended and everything, you know. So if you just look in your apartment, you got other cases laying around. This is your other best one. So yeah, she's missing a lot, like everything. It's missing in the front. That button does work. This lock doesn't work. One USB is broken. That is broken, I think, as well. But it's got, like, you know, spots for you know, drive bays that you just kind of slide in, kind of toolless, you know, design. And the power supply has its own, you know, compartment, which is kind of cool. It's a cool feature and everything. But if this was like blacked out, side panel looking nice and just like newer and yeah. So I'm just gonna be making it in this one, guys. And you get the idea that you can spend either $20 on the case or $60, or if you want more. But if you want just a budget setup, you know, just gotta find what you can afford, you know. Alright, so that was a disappointment, but let's just start fresh. Fresh case, huh? So as soon as your IO shield is properly, yeah, this case is so much beefier. Alright, so just chuck your cables somewhere. Make sure these are all like really tight. It's see, look at that one. That one was loose, and I know I'm gonna be using that one. Actually, you know what? I'm not actually going to be using this one. So see this one right here? That standoff. You have your motherboard over here. So you got your top one. You got that one. Let's see. So it's going to be like this. See that standoff is no good. That's not. There's no hole for that. And then the other one. And two right there. So just going to go side by side. Oh, that sucked. So you kind of just go side by side where the holes are and where they line up. Like that one I have to take out. I have to take out this one. And I have to, there's no, I need another one right here. So these ones aren't going to work. Next option on, I know you like the color, right? So I need to remove this one. Am I even doing it? That's a lot of pressure. It's best to get the right size so it's like you're gonna mess it up, but it's just a standoff, so I think I got it. Dang, that is very difficult to get out. Let me see, I'm gonna stand her up. Okay. So they're very smooth, that's why. Not a lot to grab onto. You know what? Is my motherboard wide enough? Is that even gonna matter? I'd like it to. Damn, that is so strong. That is not coming out. I'm not liking that. Is it even gonna touch? Let me see. How wide is it? How wide is this board? Oh, that's so gonna touch. Okay. That's not good. I don't think I'm even trying to mother frickin' nut. This is a heavy case, which is good. I like heavy cases. I'm like, I don't want no pussy case. I got a couple other videos to do too. I'm gonna have a lot of fun tonight. I mean, I have fun doing this. You know, it's fun. Some of you like them. I like doing them. So as you guys can see, this case, normal PCs are their standoffs looking like. No, 1 second. I have one. Look at the standoff. You got your threading and you got your actual, like, you know, brace, not brace, but like spacer from the actual bottom of the case, and you got your threading in there for your screw. Like, that's very basic and very simple. And you got your on the other side, you just got your holes and stuff, and it goes right through. But these ones are like, they got like an actual like a whole thingamabobber that is in with the side panel, and I could get it out. I don't want to wreck it, because what if I use this case again, you know? But the case is pretty much garbage anyways. I don't know if I could just drill it, because that is, I don't know. That's just stupid how they would do that though. Like, this is not recommended. I would not do that. Just makes it difficult. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if I can use this. They don't want to mess around with drilling. Like, I could frickin', like, if I'm pretending my life is on the line, I could definitely break it and get it out. But it's not pulling it out. It is very difficult. I don't know the trick. If there is a trick, I don't know. So I guess I'll just use another case. Fuck. Alright, guys, we're going really, really cheap. Yeah, this case is really missing side panel. I mean, I may have the side panel, frankly, but she's just not attractive at all. You know, you kind of got, this is missing the front, I think. So you got your little spots right there for a door. So yeah. So we got your spacing. Let's see for your motherboard here. I think this is going to line up perfectly. This is also a bad idea to just, because this is going to be touching the back of the motherboard, you know? So why do it like that? Like, you stupid. So this fits perfectly fine. See, I don't like that it's going to be, no, it's not actually going to be touching. So this is fine. This is fine. It's not going to be touching anything, and everything lines up. So these don't touch right here. They just kind of are really close. It's probably fine anyways. Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Third time's a charm, guys. Okay, so got your audio and mic and stuff like that at the very bottom. Just kind of pop in the bottom first. Why is this more difficult? There we go. So you got your I/O shield installed. Everything is golden. And then grab your motherboard. Make sure all your cables are out of the way, of course. And just make sure all the holes line up with your standoffs and everything. And she plops in there nice and has all the I/O and everything. You know, you got USBs and everything like that. It goes inside the I/O shield, and then that secures it right there. And then you grab all your motherboard screws. Some of them are different in design, but this one, I'll just go like that so it can focus. Focus, dude. So these ones are a little thicker. You got a bigger head on them. Of course, just maybe make sure all the screws before you put your motherboard on actually line up. And then you just want to make sure this is completely lined up, like just off by a millimeter or whatever. Alright, just screw them all down, make sure everything's golden. And make sure you don't go on an angle too. Of course, you know, just take your time and it's basic, you know. You just definitely don't want to rush to build a computer. Unless you're doing like a PC building challenge, you know, then you want to rush. Which I ideally want to do. It'd be fun, have another friend or brother or something like that doing a PC challenge with the same exact components, and like you have to, there's challenges and stuff like that. I'd love to do that. I just don't have the money to spend it on brand new components or even the same components. So I am missing one of the standoffs. The case doesn't support it because it just has these mounts right here that just raises up for threading. And mine, I'm just going to take apart this anyways. I'm just going to take it apart, guys. I'm not going to keep it in here because none of my cases fit this board. And I like having test benches because if I get other GPUs and stuff, it's easier to just pop it in. And I just like a dedicated room. Sorry, I like a dedicated room for my test benches. I mean, I have, you know, it's shared with the laundry, but it's mostly a test bench area set up, you know. Pretty darn cool. And everything is screwed in. I can't do that one. Yeah, that's it. So I have one extra, and everything is that gets plugged into via Molex. So there's no cable management in this case at all. So that's one thing to think about when you get a case. If you're on a really tight budget, you don't have much options, obviously, but you have to think about the case and the cable management and the grommets and the holes and stuff in the case that, you know, you can reroute your cables. It makes it look a lot better, especially if a side panel and everything like that, and you have more pride in the actual PC and your passion. You know, we love it. So we got your power supply right here. I would do the power supply next. Depends on what your power supply is, frankly. If it's on the top, no need to worry. But if it's on the bottom, you really want to plug in all your headers to your case and plug in that first, and then put in your power supply. Unless your power supply is on the top, it really doesn't matter. Your CPU is like, this is your CPU. Your GPU is a VGA or CPU. CPU right here. So your CPU, this one is a 4-pin, so I'm just going to be popping it in just like so, you know. So there's no tight area, but down here there's not much room, so power supply would get in the way with your fingies. So yeah, I'm gonna mount this power supply. I'm gonna tip her straight up, and I can work on this PC better. So let's turn her around. Turn around. This stupid thing goes to that garbage case, and I hate my phone. My phone messes up. The audio's garbage on it, and just crashes on me, and it's just not a nice experience. It's an S9 Plus, and I mean, it's been dropped a couple times, but like, frankly, software and stuff doesn't really, I mean, you drop it, that's, I don't know, it doesn't really damage the internals unless you really drop it, but mostly just the, you know, just filling up with storage that fast. I'm not hating on 4K files, because the bigger the file is, I don't want to think of ways to compress things, because you do lose quality. you do lose quality, even if it's a fraction. I want the highest possible quality. I don't care if the file's massive. Get bigger drives. It's not a big deal. It's better to have and give people better experiences and just get more storage. It's not a big deal. All right, cool. So that is installed. Very simple. 4 screws. Ideally, just get the right colors, like black. That would be more ideal, but this is like, I'm going to take it apart anyway. So you got a little lip right here on the CPU. And unless you have like a 4-pin, like these are 2 4-pins that they can just break off. And then if you're 4-pin for your CPU power, 29 seconds. My phone fills up. 64 gigs is nothing. It's really not. Like maybe a long time ago you thought 64 gig was a lot, but files are just massive, and the higher resolution you go, the bigger files get. Just not a lot of time. This is 24 pin, 20 plus 4. You match it up with the little lips, on both of them. Make sure everything just goes one way. All right. Okay, so depends on your case. These will either be black or multicolor. These ones are really old. So you have your LED, you have your reset switch, your power switch, and your hard drive LED, and your power LED for your front, like your buttons and everything like that, and to power and reset button. So it'll always be at the bottom right here. Sometimes it'll be labeled, so you want you to be able to see it. But let me see with better lighting. So that will be looking a lot better. There we go. So kind of hard to see, but you'll see either in writing or a manual. But the power LED will be on the top left. You got your plus and negatives. So some boards will tell you plus goes where and negative goes where, but it's usually power is on the left and negative is on the right. So you just kind of group it together. It's better when they come all together and just one click, That would be ideal. So we'll just plug her in. And then the bottom one is hard drive LED. Or yes, hard drive LED. So colored is usually positive? Question mark? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, yeah. Color is usually positive. So just kind of a hassle. This is like the hardest thing in my opinion. It's just time consuming and just kind of lame. So the power button, this is a little tricky. The power button switch will go just the same as the other ones, with positive on the left and negative on the right, but the reset is the opposite. For some dumbass reason, who did that? As you see on my motherboard, you can't really see. I'll show you though. So just flip positive around, and that'll be pin 3 and 4 on the bottom, and then top 3 and 4 for the 3 and 4 for the power button. Kind of need that. You can work around it. I don't recommend it though. It's lame. Okay, so that's golden. I'm just gonna take my phone off my arm right here, and it's zoomed in a lot. Okay, so here you go. It's easier to see. Just gonna lift this up slightly. See what I see? See what I mean? So you got your power LED plus, negative, and your power switch. Power PW is power button. And your reset, see, it's the opposite. And then so everything is the same except reset. And then you got other things like if you got other power LED, and then you got like a speaker for the top ones right here. 4K is so nice, right? I want higher though. I want 5K for the Hero Pro, the 9. But I'm not gonna get it right now. But maybe the Hero 10 will have like 8K 30. That'd be sick. or for 5K 60 or something. I probably prefer 5K 60 really, just because it's smoother. 30 FPS is pretty rough, but 8K is so much. It's over double the resolution of 5K. Hard to believe, I know, right? I can go higher though. Just money and shite. So I'm trying my best for cable management and stuff. There's really no options really, and it's a little dusty. I'm just kind of taking a lot of time because of the whole freaking. I don't have that many cases. I mean, I have like, 7, but they're just really old. So this is like another better one I have laying around. So next will be USB. So you see USB 1 and 2, right there and right there. There'll be see the hole? There'll be one spot where there's no hole, it's just blank. So you just line it up with the blank one. Easy peasy. Can't really mess that up. I mean, you can, but you're going to be really trying hard and you're going to break something. So it just goes in one way, and then you will have your HD audio, which also has an empty blank right there. Just a nothing right there. Okay, so now that you got your power button, your reset, your USBs, and yeah, you got all those headers. You got them all plugged in the right way, and you got your motherboard, and you got your 24 pin. You got your CPU header in for power, and you got your fan CPU powered up. This one, like I said, is RGB 4-pin Molex, so that is going to be using this connector right here, which arrows go together, plugged in like so, and then the power, obviously, to power it. If Molex was made better, like stronger, I don't mind it. It's a nice clicky, it's thick, it's clicky, it goes in and it's firm, but it's just so wobbly and like the pins and stuff, and you have to line it up, and sometimes it goes through the other side. It could be made better, and if it is implemented that way, I'm okay with it. But if not, it needs, yeah, you only one way to do it. So after you're done with that, you have to do your storage, obviously, and that is going to be SATA and SATA power. So you got your screws. Depends on your case. You might have it on the front, and then you just go through the side, and you have like a cage slide out bay you can do, or if not, in my case, you kind of just have to find a hole and just kind of get some screws. You really just need 2 for a hard drive. I would for an SSD a 2.5 inch, but for a hard drive I would use all 4 screws. And this one, I can take off the other side panel and get to it on the other side. So that was going to be perfect. Excuse me. Just find the right screws. Find the right screws. These look right. Okay, so these go in nicely. Just gonna can't really see. All right, so just kind of. If you don't have a screwdriver, you just do it by hand. Just kidding. You get a screwdriver. You can get them for like $1 at Goodwill or something like that. Don't make excuses why you don't have a screwdriver. All right. Okay. There's one. Use the other one. I'm actually thinking about not installing the hard drive just because there's going to be kind of a lot of work, and I'm not going to install anything on it. I'm just going to use my 1 terabyte external hard drive. So I'm going to be launching games off of that. So, you know, I wouldn't use an external if you had to. Like, if you had to use an external, but I would rather just do an internal, everything internal, just because everything's with your case and everything's all kept and you don't have anything, you know, hanging off of it and stuff. But for my purposes, it's fine. Depends on your purpose, I guess. So, get the right, any of these SATA cables will work, but I'm trying to find one that's on the end, so it's not like these kind of group together and I zip tied it and stuff, but that's not a big deal. I'll just, it only goes one way. You see like a little L shape. There's some better lighting. So like a little L shape right here. It's a long L, and you got a little tip on here. So it really only goes one way. You can't really see too well in here, but so just goes in one way. There's not a very noticeable click, but there's like a kind of a low key click maybe. Same thing with this one. You got your top, so just line everything together. And here you got your SATAs right here. It's hard to see. Don't have the best lighting. There's better lighting. So same thing. Just kind of plug her in. Try to tighten it up best you can. See this? There's just no. See how bad that looks? You know, like the whole thing just doesn't look ideal. Like, this is all kind of cable management together, and I'm trying to use, you know, the best of what I got to work with. But ideally, you'd have your proper holes under your you know, you go through your grommets, and it would look really nice and clean. So the next step and the last step is well, you got your fans. I'm only going to install one, but you would have usually a couple up here if your power supply is mounted down here, and a couple in the front as well. So I'm just going to mount it like so, and then be Molex powered. So let's see if I find another Molex chilling about. Here, Molex. Okay, so this one is, this would actually work because this is being powered. That's hooked up to. So I'm just kind of daisy chaining it off of that. That's perfectly fine. And as far as fans go, you're like, oh, which way does it go? Usually the label that you can see, like the whole fan itself, is going to be blowing air, and you got the frame around it. You know, this is going to be exhaust, so this is going to be blowing air out. So just look on that, and then you know, obviously. So it's pretty simple. Trying to find the screws. I'll just go gray because it's a gray case. It depends on how good your fans are. Some they don't take much, like the cheap ones don't really take much pressure to actually strip. So you can keep on, like you can screw too much because you want to get it flush and snug. But if you go one step further, you're going to strip it. So just make sure it goes smooth and completely. I mean snug to a point, but don't go past snug, if that makes sense. So when you feel resistance, you just stop. Then even cheapo fans that will do the trick, maybe not ideal, but if you're on a budget, you know, they'll be fine. You're not going to strip anything. Let's try that again. So the last step is going to be the graphics card. You always want to do this last, just because it's pretty large, you know, and it gets in the way, and then you have to fight around it. So it's like save the best for last, you know what I mean? So just make sure you have these removed, these little expansion. You just kind of go back and forth on them. I mean, some you actually have to thread off, depends on your case and everything, but these are just expansion slots. These are expansion slots, and these are just expansion slot covers, pretty much. So just make sure that you put your graphics card in your case, and you make sure you have these completely filled up. And so this is pretty tight in here, but you see this right here? This is the back plate for the graphics card, the I/O on the back, all your ports. This will go, like your motherboard's going to be on this side, so it's going to go in between, like on the edge of the motherboard. So in beside, you'll see like little slots in here, and then this right here goes in your PCIe right here. So just make sure. Yeah, this case is a little small. You gotta make sure your case fits your graphics card. So there's a little bit of you know, making sure everything is compatible, but it's not a big deal. You just make sure everything's good to go, and you'll have a nice smooth experience. So you just push firmly down after you make sure everything's good. You know, you're completely confident. You push it down, and you have like a little clip, and now that'll clip up right here. This right here. It'll go like that. If you saw that, no, you don't. You didn't see that, but there's like a little clip. You push it down, and a little clip will secure the end piece of this card, and then you have your 2 screws. Yeah, here it is. So you got your screws right here. It's going to be screwing in the graphics card to the case. So it's going to be some extra support, because you definitely need it. Definitely need it. So that is good, and that is good. All right, and then actually powering the graphics card, it has 2 6-pins. Some graphics cards have other ones. They have maybe 3 8s or 1 8, or you know what I mean. They'll have a couple different power connections. So this has 2 6s. So you have like little clips right here, and you have like a little clip right there. It's not focusing. You see it though. Just make sure it only goes in one way. So just make sure everything's good. And your case, your side panel would be pushing on this cable. So just make sure everything is kind of tidy and everything, you know what I mean? So I think everything is good to go. So you got your power supply. It's powering your motherboard with 24-pin, your CPU with an 8-pin. You got your graphics card 2 6s. You got your SATA for your SSD, SATA power as well. You got your CPU and your CPU cooler installed with your CPU cable on your CPU header right there. You got your memory DIMMs in slot 2 and 4, unless you have 4, do all 4. If you have 2, do 2. And you got your fans going in the right way. You got your HD audio and your USBs, and your headers for all your power button, your reset button, and your lights in your front. So everything is good to go. This will boot up. Let's see if I am correct. So, moment of truth, guys. Does it work? I have everything plugged in. I do believe I might not have the keyboard plugged in, though. So let's just see if she powers on. Where's the power button? Right here. Look at that. You can see it, right? Yes, sir, you do. Yeah. So yeah, Windows 10 is installed on my SSD. Everything is... Ooh, it turned off. Okay, let's try it again. I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. It's off. Thank you. So I don't know what that was. Maybe it was getting devices ready or something like that and just messed up. But it is working, except my my keyboard is not touched. So when you do cable management, you just mess everything up when you change things. So now everything is plugged in. It's still recording. Yes. Okay. And you know what's really funny, guys? I did not set that color there. You saw me turn it on, and it just defaulted green. That's awesome. Now this needs to be green. Oh, on, up green. Except that it's not green. I'm just not gonna worry about it right now. So let's see if everything's Gucci or Gotchi, whatever you say. Just kidding. Can you see both monitors? Freaking heck. Yes, pretty much. Just gonna start a fresh one. Still gotta put these black lights up on the sides, but everything is pretty good. It's not completely centered, but it's not perfect, but it looks pretty sick. And I have test bench anyways over here anyways. I'm just doing this for this video. So I got my my i5 4440 with 16 gigs of memory and my SSD and my hard drive with my 980. Everything is good to go. So yeah, it worked. That was weird though. It really was weird about the PC shutting off. But then after you turn it back on, it was good to go. So not sure on that one. I don't know if anything was loose, but you think it would be doing it again. I'm not sure. So let's just do Legendary, which came out. Oh, there you go. These are USB powered HP speakers. Nothing great, but they work. So yeah, Legendary came out in 2010, I do believe. I think 2010. But yeah, I know it's an older game, but it's super fun. It's a good storyline. And it's super cheap as well, like $2-3 depending on where you get it. That's where I got it from. Is I think CD Keys. Yeah. I usually go for them. They're my go-to. So downloading requirement files. Where isn't completely ready. So this doesn't look half bad. You know, like if you keep the side panel off and just kind of a, you know, gritty look to it on a budget, it's perfectly fine and usable. But ideally, you know, you'd want a nice side panel, and if you can afford it and you get a nice case for like $40, something like that, you know, with the side panel, 45, something like that. Used will be a better bet, because if somebody's trying to upgrade from their case to a new case, then you can maybe snag theirs, you know. But yeah, she's looking pretty nice. Cable management would be better in a side panel. Lighting's good. Everything lights up perfectly fine. Here's the game launching. These are both 1080p. All right. So the audio is not working. I don't know why. Let me see. Turn. It is still installing, but it's launching. So Sound Blaster. Okay. So on my motherboard, directly plugged into my audio wasn't really working. So in the front panel, it wouldn't go in all the way on the audio. I don't know why, but the microphone one did on my front panel on my case. So I'm just using this USB to mic and audio 3.5. So I just plug it in directly. Worked perfectly fine. Let's see. They're not great, but they're working. So. Okay, they're better than the other ones, but they're working. Alright, let's go. That's good, okay. Okay, so 300 FPS, maxed out 1080p. Let's continue. No checkpoint. Oh, because it's a different computer. Huh? Alright. I really wish there was a phone on the, I really wish there was a display on the back of phones. just so you can see if you're using your phone for like, you know, this what I'm doing right now, it'd be nice to see yourself and what you can actually see on the main screen. It'd be cool if they did that. Most of them. So this is capped at 30 FPS. You can see the GPU usage at 6%, and if you're not at like, you know, 4K 60, you might not be able to see it. But yeah, 6%, and the CPU is at 23, 30 FPS. It's locked. So it goes through its cutscene. I've made gameplay of this for like 42 minutes, and you continue it, but you can't skip it either. Let me just take it real quick. The game is so much more detailed than this gameplay. It's ridiculous, so bad. They just wanted to run 30 FPS on like everything. That's why they made it so bad. Gonna actually render now on your. There we go, almost 300 FPS. Wow, mouse sensitivity is a little bit too much. So yeah, I'm gonna be 300. It can go actually more. Look at that usage. So high 300s or high 200s and 300s, like all the gameplay probably. But yeah, I'm just gonna play some Rocket League now. I don't have my controller hooked up to it. That's fine. I'll use keyboard and mouse. I've done gameplay. I'm just going to show you just again, you know, with this PC, if you haven't seen my other videos, just so you, you know what a 980 and an i5-4440 can do with 16 gigs of memory, you know? Let's just go play, let's go custom, let's go private actually, let's go create 4 bots. This will be the hard, you can't do more than 4. So this would be the pretty much the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario because you have as much going on in, you know, Rocket League. And Rocket League's easy to run, so I'm gonna expect 200 and some FPS. Yeah, 230 right there. And this is maxed out. I never like lower stuff. Oh, it isn't. I don't know why it changed. Okay, SMS, high boom. Okay, everything is maxed out besides resolution, which I'm doing that currently. There it is. It's all good. So it's back out. And okay, I lost already. So yeah, high 200s, low 200s to 250, something like that, around there for this game. I'm gonna play some Star Wars Battlefront. Oh, 180. Ooh, I do not play with keyboard and mouse, so just bear with me here. I'm not that good with controller. Wait, whoa, what's, oh, jump is mouse click? I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I prefer controller so much better. On this game. No, you don't? Okay, well, yeah. So 170 to like 200-ish FPS. I'll try to do one more. See if I can get a point. Dun, 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 dun. I can see if you practice with the keyboard and mouse with this game, you can actually do pretty damn good. But yeah, I just like with the controller better for this particular title. Yeah, I'm awful with it though. There we go. The Alt F4. Nope, can't. Just leave the match. Come on. We'll test that one, and then that'll be it, guys. So it's gonna. It was free on Epic Games Store. If you didn't get the memo, if you didn't really look into it, then you might have missed it. But which is sad. But yeah, it's free, and I have it, so I'm launching it right now. This one, I'm thinking 1080p maxed out. I'm thinking. Oh yeah, it's Origin. I'm thinking 64 FPS with a 980, 1080p. It'll be around there, I'm guessing. Are you good? Play this, bitch. Come on. It's taking its good sweet time. Oh, there it is. It's launching. So let's minimize that. Had an Ethernet cable that's not, it's like 25 foot, but it's way over there, so I have it under my chair. It's not the best. I'm trying to dodge it. Dodge. Okay, cool, great, awesome. So, okay. Ooh, I love these droids. Those are sick. Need more RGB though. That controls video. So let's do 1080p, high dynamic range, auto, DirectX. 12 is off, or vertical sync is off. Field of view, like maximum, motion blur amount 0. Film grain, I don't like film grain. Effects, no. Lens distortion, nothing. Resolution scale 100%, and graphic quality at auto. Let's go custom, and this is maxed out completely. Can you go? Yeah. See. Whoa, what does that do? That's a massive difference. Anyways, okay, so this is maxed out completely at 1080p. And so let's go single player. Let's just do instant action. It just sounds like I can get instantly into it, huh? Naboo. Turn it up a little bit, shall I? And I won't talk in it. Or barely at all. Yeah, I like dedicated buttons instead of like software, because then software has a risk of failing, messing up other components, other software, you know. And I ran that issue before. So with dedicated buttons, you know, it's easy to control and never have to worry about any software or anything, or just a remote, you know, with IR. You can always do that. Anytime would be great. Come on now, we got to watch the game. Come on now, let's go. Crashes it. But yeah, I don't. The temps on the CPU. That's GPU. I wish this was. I wish I could access this without crashing the game. I don't think it would. Let me see. Close. Minimize this. Hope it doesn't crash. I'm gonna cry. So the CPU temperature, high 40s, low 50s, and the GPU. Let's see again. Okay, I'm this little droid. Sounds perfect. I'll accept that. Let's get into the action with Call of Duty. Okay. Alright, so I'm this little droid right here. Just redoing this because my phone filled up with data. Oh, at 18%? What the heck? Okay, so high 80s, high 70s to sometimes 90, but mostly in the high 80s. Like average right now is 70, 77, 71, 69. Nice. So yeah, it's high 70s, low 80s most of the time. 1080p maxed out in this world. So I got about like 30 more seconds of this video before I want to get a couple more kills. Come on. Run. It's actually doing pretty good. Probably was like little bots, but. Who's shooting me? Oh, I'm so dead. Yoda killed me. Alright, but yeah, guys. There we go with that one. I'll do more gameplay of this another night, but I gotta make 3 videos, so there's that. So high 70s, low 80s, Battlefront 2 1080p maxed out. But yeah, I got in the low 70s, and the CPU was at like 50 something. See, 50C and then 70C, so it's pretty good. It's pretty much what you guys can expect with a $450, $500 budget with a used system. You already knew you're gonna spend more, but yep, you guys liked it. Comment.